We're filming. Oh, okay. Hey, Love Collective, how are you guys doing? I know I'm feeling good today. Okay, so in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about connecting with your emotions, or how to be intimate with your emotions. So, what is intimacy? I think that intimacy, one, is privacy. Intimacy is being in a space where you're fully comfortable and okay and just private. And so, what does that mean when it comes to being intimate with our emotions? I think it's really about getting to know yourself. And I'll tell y'all something. Getting to know yourself is really, really uncomfortable. It's not easy. And it's something that you have to want. It's something that I wanted. And if you guys see maybe like 2 episodes behind this one, I did my little Washington, D.C. Like little road trip where I kind of took some privacy and I wanted to connect with my emotions. So like that's just like a little example of just like what I did personally. I hope you guys watch it and like enjoy that little episode. But let's get to it. Okay, so we have to be intimate with our emotions. What are emotions? So emotions, in my opinion, are currents of energy that pass through us. Meaning that your brain, your mind is like a humongous magnet. It's the biggest magnet and is the strongest magnet that there possibly is in all of creation. Why? Because what you create, you can conceive. Like if you have a baby, for example, like you created your baby, like your baby didn't just pop out of nowhere. If you have a house, your house didn't just pop out of nowhere. So yeah, like it's definitely about being aware of that feeling. Like you wanted a baby, you wanted a house, you wanted a car, and you went and you got it. Maybe you weren't necessarily aware that you were being intimate with your thought process or intimate with your emotion, but everything that we do is kind of based on an emotion. But where do emotions come from? Emotions come from our thoughts. Emotions comes from our way of thinking. So if you're feeling, let's say, like negative and you're not feeling, happy or fulfilled, it is probably because your emotions are not aligned with the things that you want. But for that, you have to be aware of the thought that you're first having in order to really get to the bottom of that emotion. And then acknowledging the emotion as the emotion arises is super, super important. And why do I say that? Because let's say like you became upset at your significant other and you guys didn't deal with that situation, like right there and then. I kid you not, you're going to be walking around your whole entire day a little angry or a little upset. And at some point, you're going to project that energy. And I'll say like particularly like that's a really bad habit that I have done, that I am working on. I never want to put, like a negative emotion or a negative energy onto someone, especially if they don't deserve it. Especially because it was first my responsibility, to get to the bottom of that feeling and like really take ownership of just what it is that is happening in my world, because no one should ever be at fault for what it is that we have created, besides us. Okay, so our emotions reflect our intentions. So what does that mean, that our emotions reflect our intentions? Whenever you think of something and you act on it, there are consequences. And just because you don't think, of the consequences doesn't mean that there's not going to be any. Like there's always going to be consequences to the actions that we're taking. So I want to encourage every single one of you, and it's something that I've done myself, is to just be a lot more intentional about your thought process and a lot more intentional about what it is that you're spreading out into the universe, because it does matter. And the law of karma, or the laws of cause and effect, whatever you put into the world, you're going to receive back. You're going to deal with whatever it is that you have promoted out there. So it's becoming, again, like aware of what it is that we're producing, aware of what it is that we're putting out there into the universe, because it really does matter. Another part is that only awareness of our feelings can truly open our hearts. And I know this sounds like super weird, or maybe like it speaks to a lot of people, but my personal example is that for like a really, really long time, I was not aware, I was not open to love. And I had to go through this like really deep process of figuring out why I was not okay with like accepting love, receiving love, and then even like loving me. Like I thought I loved me, but the way that I was loving me was so superficial, was so above surface, that I was not aware that I was, like still hurting myself through like all these bad habits, if you will, that I've been working on, and I've been changing myself. But to really truly love me, like that authentic self-love, it doesn't take a lot of effort, but it takes consistent effort. Yes, it takes consistent effort, and it takes a desire for you guys to really want to get in touch with yourself, is a desire to continuously want to be better, to do better, not because it benefits anyone around you, literally just because it benefits you. Like, I want you guys, I don't want to use this word, but I'm going to use the word. Be selfish, like think in very selfish terms. Like, it's something that I necessarily, like, I didn't grow up with that sort of like dictionary where I was constantly thinking of me, of who I am, or like the things that I want, and because I didn't, that definitely affected the sort of love that I was able to give myself, and the sort of love that I just allowed, myself to receive. And this is a brand new year, and it sounds cliche to some people, but hey, this is a brand new year. With a brand new year, like, you can literally become whoever you want. You can train your mind, and you can train your thought process to do and think whatever it is that you really truly wanted to do. But that takes ownership, that takes responsibility. You have to think about the outcomes, the consequences, the intentions that you want to put out in this world, because every single thought that you have does have a cause and effect, as long as you act on it. And once you act on it, be aware of the consequences, be aware of the energy that it is that you're putting out, because there's definitely consequences, to our actions. And that is the end for this vlog. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And I just want to say that I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys have been so great. And just, I love you guys. Thank you. Please don't forget to share, like, and support. I will see you guys next time on the Love Collective. Ciao.